Okay, welcome back everyone. Welcome back MindShifters. Welcome to a new trading week. This is Jeff here with FXMindshift, and this is your Sunday weekly review. So I know it's been a while since I posted one of these review videos here on the channel. I've gotten several messages from a lot of you asking me when I'll be starting these up again. So this is the official announcement. Okay, you guys will be seeing a Sunday review video every week on the channel posted here, as well as new educational content. I'm going to be trying to drop a lot of value for you guys on the channel a few times per week if I can. A lot of you guys have found my videos helpful. So, my goal really is to help you guys, obviously get your trading to where it needs to be. And, hopefully my videos will do that for you guys here. So if you guys are not subscribed, make sure that you guys do that and get the notifications for when I upload new videos. There will also be a link in the description below to join our free membership. I'm posting these videos here in the free content area, first, before I upload them to YouTube. So if you want the first-hand look at, when I get these videos uploaded, make sure that you are subscribed and joined to the free membership in the link in the description below. All right, so let's get started. This is the Sunday weekly review. I'm going to go through these pairs with a monthly top-down perspective. Okay, we're going to go down the pairs and the time frames, and we're just going to take a look at what we should be expecting for the week. Okay, so starting off with DXY on the monthly chart. Okay, so if you take a look here, we've got basically a monthly consolidation where we're sitting at in the range right now. Okay, and basically we can take the most recent range that we're in, which is probably this high to this low here. Okay, and we can see that price is in a monthly consolidation sitting right around the equilibrium level. Okay, so obviously, we were bullish. Okay, you can see price, basically clocked in this high over here around 115 area, 114, 115. All right, and then we saw this big retracement coming back from this high. So obviously what we'd expect price to do is to come back down into this discount area here below the equilibrium, looking for some sort of, point of interest to react to. But we can see that price is kind of stuck here in this consolidation, right? After price had taken out the lows right here with this big monthly wick, traded into this imbalance here. We saw price pop up from that level right here, and also respecting that monthly wick from this, this low right here. So this is where we're currently at. Price is traded up into this area here, but notice that we did not make an internal higher high. Okay, so we can see here that we basically made a lower high here. So we had a failure swing, failed to trade above, right? And so, we're looking at price now rejecting that level and coming back down into the range. So we could very well be looking to take out the structure below here, maybe fill in the rest of the imbalance, which is right here. But at the very least, we'll be expecting price to at least come back down into the range or back down into this equilibrium because we're in a consolidation. So this isn't really, ideal, situations right now because we don't have a really clear direction of where the dollar wants to go. This could be a rejection. This could still be, a bullish uptrend. Like we're just, not really clear on this monthly chart here. Okay. So, but what we can say for sure is that, this is the month of July. We've got, basically a bearish candle, painting here, right? So we're looking for price to at least continue down, from here into that monthly equilibrium range. Which is somewhere down here, right? Maybe trade into this monthly OB and see if we get a respect of that OB here and then maybe pop back up into the range or something like that, right? So let's go down to the weekly. Maybe we'll get a little clearer picture here on the weekly. As we go down the time frames, we usually get a better, clearer perspective versus, range and structure. So let's put up the weekly markups here. If you can see, right, the monthly range is going to be reduced now. We can look at the weekly range, which is now this range right here. Okay, so now we're trading inside of this weekly range. As you can see, right, price came down here, put in this low, and we're trading up from that low here, making higher highs and higher lows. And here's where we can see the failure swing, right? So we can see the shift in the market structure, the lower high here, and then the shift down. So you can see the higher low that we put in, right, is now looking to be traded through. We've got some nice equal lows here as well. So we got some liquidity that we can basically trade and target through. This is probably going to be the draw. The next draw on liquidity is just below these lows here into this nice little weekly imbalance with this order block right here. Okay, so below this level here, we can see it's about 103.87. So we're looking at just below the 104 big figure, and then we're going to see how far we trade into this weekly order block right here and into this low. Like we could trade even further down, right? We could trade into the next imbalance OB here, but this is going to be the one we focus on right now because that's the immediate draw, right? And this is a weekly chart, so it's going to take some time for it to get down there, as we can see. So at the start of the week, we're going to be expecting price to move lower, whether we get a gap down or we get a just a straight continuation down. But we're going to be seeing if price is going to be wanting to trade below that 104 level. Okay, so that'll be that's pretty clear there on the weekly. Let's go down to the daily now. Let's see if we can get some confirmation on the daily. All right, so the line stays here. Let's drop the daily markups on the chart. And so now we can see same idea here. We can see that the daily failed to push higher, right? So we get that swing high put in there on the daily and then the drop down, right? So what we saw last week was a very big bearish drop off for the dollar. The liquidity here seems pretty obvious in the swing low from over here. Also seems pretty obvious, right? So we're looking at, again, price dropping below that 104 big figure level, right? And then trading down into, or further down into that weekly discount range if we can. The weekly OB down here, right, which you can see now refined is the daily OB with the imbalance over here, right? So we can see how far down we can get down in that level. Also here as well, right? But the immediate draw is going to be right here below the 104 and then trading into that level and seeing if we get a reaction from there. Okay, now dropping down to the 4 hour, right? Just a little bit more clarity here. We drop down to the 4 hour. We can see that we have the last 4 hour break of structure. Okay, we can see the structure, structural low over here that we were targeting, right? Nice big imbalance, a nice big shift at the end of the week here on Friday, trading below this wick here and leaving this nice little imbalance for us to trade into. So you can see the target that we're targeting is below the 104 big figure. We have all this structure over here to target as well, these nice lows that is sitting below there, and also a 4 hour imbalance right below the lows as well. So we have some nice liquidity that we can draw to the downside on the dollar, and we have this nice imbalance as well after taking out this low. So we'll be looking for something to occur like this, right? Where we come back in, feel the imbalance, trade into the OB, and then come down through into that 4 hour imbalance area and taking out the structural lows. Okay, so this is what I would expect at the start of the week, right? Or something to that effect anyway. Trading into this, I don't know how high it's going to trade into that imbalance here, but I'd expect it to kind of trade back into the imbalance, maybe come back into the OBs at the top of the range here, and then trade lower from there. Okay, so the outlook is going to be a retracement up and then a move down for the dollar to start the week. And then moving forward, we'll see what the reaction is after we take out the structure below 104, right? Obviously, we're going to be expecting some sort of swing low to form and then a pullback again to continue. So we'll see if we get that on the dollar, right? Moving along to euro dollar. Okay, so here is euro dollar on the monthly. Okay, we can see once again for euro monthly consolidation as well. So not very clear, in terms of a direction right now that we're going, because we could see price either continue down or we could even see price go up further into the premium here, right, to maybe make a lower high higher in the range before moving down, right? So there's a lot of a couple of options that price could do for us right now. But as we can see here, monthly consolidation, right, inside the range here. Not a very clear look here on the monthly here, but we can see that we're just basically bouncing around inside of this monthly range. Okay, if we go down to the weekly chart, okay, and we take a look at the weekly, right, we get a little bit more clarity here, and I can see that the range between this high and this low is where we're currently trading. Okay, and I have this area here marked in terms of where the draw on liquidity is. The immediate draw on liquidity is going to be above this high here, but also probably this high, and then maybe trading into the wick here of the weekly wick, right? Wick rejection here. So this is going to be where I'm targeting for EU next. You can see the nice big weekly candles, and where we left off last week was a nice big bullish candle. So we're going to keep the momentum probably going into the week, right? We're going to see probably a retracement down and then price moving up through these highs. So this level here above 109, this level here above, probably on the 110 area here, because we have a little weekly imbalance, and then the OB itself here at the top. Okay, so we'll look for price to trade into probably that weekly OB overall, the longer term outlook like this. Okay, because that sits also right atop, this high. So the sweep of the highs here into that point of interest is where we'll look for a reaction. All right, so that's our weekly perspective. Let's go down to the daily. Okay, and we left, the week pretty bullish on EU. If you guys did trade EU this week or this past week, you'll notice that we did get some very nice bullish moves. And the high right here, okay, just above 109, that is going to be the next draw on liquidity. The obvious target for me is going to be drawing above that high, and then also the next high above that as well. And you can see here on the daily, we have a daily imbalance, right, just above those highs as well. So there's a nice point of interest here that we can draw to on the upside, and we can see that the bullish order flow would carry price up to that level here if we do continue, right? So we have a nice big daily imbalance below here. Okay, so if we do end up running that high and taking that out, I would expect price to come back into that imbalance, that pocket, to bounce higher, basically, right? To then take us up to that level here. Okay, so I'm basically looking for something like that. Now, if we do manage to take out the high, at the start of the week or the open, then expect price to retrace back into that imbalance there afterwards. If price doesn't and we hold the high here, then we'll look for the retrace to the imbalance first before then taking out those highs. So essentially creating, equal high liquidity here, right? So it'll look like something like this. Okay, and then we'll trade down into the imbalance here, and then we'll trade through the equal highs to basically trade up to that, point of interest above. Okay, so either way, you're gonna be looking for the highs to be taken, then the retracement down, and then the continuation up from this level here. All right, so let's go down to the 4-hour and see if that kind of corroborates our daily outlook. So let's put up the 4-hour markups here. All right, let me get rid of this here, and we can see here the last break of structure on the 4-hour, right after creating this kind of like shallow swing high here, right, and then the big push up through that high and then into the levels up here. So we took out the kind of intermediate highs above here. So let's get one of those to mark where we took out those highs, right? And now we're trading into the high itself, right? The swing high of the range here, but obviously we're going to be expecting price to trade through that. Okay, so this last high that we created, that we pushed through, there isn't really a nice looking imbalance here. So this is probably the imbalance that we saw on the daily. Okay, that we can trade through. So if it does pull back from here, right, before going through that high, then as I was saying, this is what I would expect price to do, right, from there and then through that level. If we just continue through the high, at the start of the week, sometimes we just see price go through, maybe through, Asian session right away at the start of the week, and we trade through that high, then we'll see price take the high, and then we'll look for price to retrace. When it starts to retrace, then we'll look for price to come back down to here, and then give us the continuation higher from that retracement. Okay, so that's going to be the outlook for Euro, right? And obviously we'll look for setups throughout the week to kind of put us through there. And now let's go over to GU, right? We'll see if we get the same kind of outlook here for GU. All right, so if you look at GU on the monthly chart, we can see, price is clearly going for liquidity above this wick here. Okay, we can see that we had put in this monthly low here. This was back in August 2022, right? We took out this big structure, big wick rejection, right? And price is moving, basically bullishly away from that level here. We put in this higher low over here. Put in this higher low over here. Price is respecting the monthly bullish order flow. You can see price trading into the monthly imbalance here, and then putting in this high. The next retracement, trading back into the monthly order block here, and then the next retracement here, trading back into the imbalance OB here, right? You can see prices respecting that and going through. So we'll be looking for price to run this high next, which is above, looks like 131.50. Okay, so still quite a ways from where we are, about 170 pips or so from where we are right now. So that's definitely possible for GU over the long term, because we're looking at a monthly chart, right? And then looking at price trading up at least up into this area. I mean, we could be looking at taking out this entire structure, which is also possible, but that's going to take some time, obviously, because we're looking at monthly candles, right? So the next obvious draw on liquidity for me is going to be that high right there above 131, at least from a monthly perspective. And you can see the nice big monthly bullish candle that should kind of confirm that. Let's go down to the weekly, and let's take a look at the weekly to kind of confirm that. If we go to the weekly markups, okay, we can see the next weekly high is our target. Okay, we've already taken out the internal high over here, and we can see that we left last week with a nice big bullish candle to gain momentum, right? So we're going to ride that momentum into the next week here, looking for the run above that high. Okay, we'll look for a retracement. If we, obviously after we take out a structural high, we're going to be looking for some sort of retracement to happen. We've got some nice big imbalances that we left at the start of the week here. So when we do make the high, I'm not sure when that'll happen, right? The price could still, just continue to go up at the start of the week. But once we make the high, we start to pull back. We're going to be looking for something like this, right? And then we'll trade through that weekly high. Okay, so maybe we'll come back into the OB here, or we might even come back lower, right? This would be ideal if we could come back a little bit lower, trade into that weekly intermediate low here, and maybe into this weekly OB, so that we can see the flow, the order flow, the bullish order flow being respected at each discount OB, right? So you can see here we did that right here, and then here, and then the next one here, right? That's what we'll be looking for price to do, with the continuation up, targeting that 131.50 high here, right, and beyond. Okay, so that is our weekly outlook. Let's go to the daily. All right, and as you can see, we left off last week with the break of that structural high over here and here, and trading through that with some very large bullish momentum, right? And so price could continue to go higher at the start of the week, but obviously we're going to be looking for some sort of retracement back into the range. Once we do that, we'll look for price to pull back into the imbalances that we left behind here, create another higher low, and then continue forward and up. Okay, so we're gonna have to wait for price to give us that retracement of that high first, right, so that we can start to formulate some trading ideas from that. So right now, all we're going to be looking for is for price to form the high and start to retrace, right, so that we can look for more buying opportunities after that happens. All right, so if we go to the 4-hour and we look at the 4-hour markups. Okay, so 4-hour break of structure here. We can see the nice little retracement, the shallow retracement we got here, which then pushed price higher. This would be the first area I would look for a reaction if we do get a pullback from here. Okay, so essentially something like this, like if this was the high and it starts to pull back, this is where I would look for the first kind of reaction to go higher from there. If we go through that level, then we're giving the targeting, something like this, where we get this big imbalance and this kind of, OB structure here. So we could target like the imbalance plus the OB overlap. This would be, ideally where I'd look for a reaction. But, if price remains as bullish as it is, sometimes the momentum carries it through and we don't get, a big retracement like this. This is going to be an area that we look for first for a first reaction, initial reaction, right? So we'll look for that area first and then the continuation up after that. Okay, but first what we have to do is put in that swing high to get us that retracement back into that level first. So that is what we'll look for price to do. Okay, which is why we need to kind of sit on our hands a little bit and wait for that to happen. Okay, going over to gold next. Okay, what we can see here for gold from the monthly is that we have broken this monthly level here and basically made all-time highs. Okay, and we also made it to 2,400, which is a big figure, right? And we're starting to see a little bit of exhaustion here, although it's still looking pretty bullish, right? I mean, we have some big bullish candles that we ended up on. So we could still see price go higher, certainly 2,500, right, and beyond. From a monthly perspective, but you know, we can see that price has put in these wicks here, and it looks like we are looking to put in another swing high first, right? So if we go down to the weekly and took a look at the weekly, because the monthly we only had a few candles here, but on the weekly you can see that we actually have a little bit of rejection, right? So we can see that price wicked above the last previous high, which was also above 2,400. Okay, we went up to about almost 2,450. Which is kind of like a mid-figure level, right? We actually went up to 2450.09, right? So a little bit over 2450, and then we had a nice rejection from that level here, put in this low, held the weekly OB, and now we're coming back up to that high. So this is going to be a very important area to watch. If we get a rejection from this level or not, that will likely be the swing high and the reversal that we see from this high. So let's go down to the daily and see if there is anything here that we can zoom in on to give us a little bit more clarity. And we can see here on the daily, let's put up the daily chart and the weekly, the daily markups. So here we can see price, this is where we saw price wick the top of that high and that structure, right? And we saw the retracement and the move down. We did not break structure, however, okay? So that's important to note. That is still bullish based on the structure and the order flow here, because we did not come down and take out this low, right? Price held the daily OB at the bottom of the range here. We held it once more, right, with this higher low, and then saw price then push bullishly up and through. So this is still very bullish. I mean, we could still see price go higher from this point here, targeting this high next, okay, which is logically what we should see price do, is target this high next above 2450 and maybe 2500, right? And then looking for price to basically react to this OB right here, right? This is going to be the next OB that we should see price hold on the daily. And so it's already basically traded back into that level here. So we're going to have to watch the reaction from this OB level. So if we go down to the 4-hour, okay, and we take a look at 4-hour structure, we can see that we also see bullish continuation, bullish order flow, right? You can see price breaking through the last 4-hour high here, right? A nice little sweep of liquidity as we, take out the bottoms, right? And take the stop hunt lows. Trade up and higher with a very strong impulsive move, right? Leaving a bullish impulse and imbalance here, breaking through that high, and then trading into that 4-hour, that high over here, and then getting a little reaction. The reaction, however, trades into the imbalance here, right? And then we get another push. So this right here, how this basically reacts is going to be very important, because if the low here that we put in does not continue higher and we don't get above this wick that we put in here, then we're very likely going to see price give us a reversal, right? From this point here, and down. Okay, this is probably what we're going to see happen. If price does in fact hold the wick here and trade below this level, then we're going to be looking for this kind of movement, right? And then we're probably going to be targeting the swing low here, or the H4 low here for the break of structure, right? And so we're going to have to watch very carefully how the week starts off, right? If we do in fact hold the level here, right? Because that'll basically give us the confirmation of the 4-hour high or low. I'm sorry, the lower high. And then the reversal is going to be imminent after that if we get the rejection, right? So if this holds and we don't see price go higher from here, once we take out this low here, we're probably going to see price continue down. So there's a very possible, weekly, midweek, or not midweek, I'm sorry, peak high reversal condition here, okay? After taking out, all-time highs and making new highs and trading into, a very significant level, basically 2,400 and 2,450, right? Now we could go higher. Obviously, price is still very bullish, so that is going to be what we expect price to do, is from here, this rejection from this low, for price to go higher. right? That should be what happens. But if it doesn't, then this scenario is going to be what takes place if we don't get that. Okay, so make sure you guys understand what I mean by that. If you want to rewind that and go, play that back and see what I'm talking about there, right? If that didn't make sense to you, right? This is going to be only if we do not trade above this wick here and we hold the level, and make this lower high here, right? If we do continue from this level here through that high and price does in fact hold, then we're gonna, see price probably continue up from this point. Okay, we need the confirmation of the reversal before we trade the reversal. So I don't want you to be anticipating the reversal here if we don't get full confirmation, because we don't have that yet, until this actually plays out like this. Okay, all right. So that is gold, and then lastly, let's go into NASDAQ. Right now, for future videos, I'm going to probably be doing a separate video for indices, and I'll probably cover the other indices as well. So we have NASDAQ, we also have S&P, and we also have the Dow, US 30, things like that. So it's important when we look at indices to also look at the other ones to see if there's any fractional disparity or correlation divergences that's happening. It'll help you trade those pairs as well. But for this video, I'll just go over NASDAQ today because I don't want the video to go too long, on this first week back. So maybe I'll do another one, a separate one for just indices, and I'll cover the other indices as well as NASDAQ. All right. So taking a look at NASDAQ here on the monthly, as you can see, we've broken through the monthly high. All right, we've made all-time highs. We're all-time high territory here on NASDAQ, and we are still continuing to look bullish. Right, there's no sign of slowing down just yet, and price is still pushing its way upward on the monthly. So nothing really here that we can work with. Let's go down to the weekly. All right, weekly as well. If we look at the weekly chart and the structure, we can see the last weekly break of structure of the high here, right? And price is putting in the new highs above 20,500. Okay, so this could be an area where we make a swing high, but we don't have evidence of that just yet. We don't even really have a swing high yet. Price could still continue to go higher from here. So we still need to see price putting in that swing high before we can start to look for reversals. So at this point, price is still very much bullish, and we should expect price to continue to go higher at this point, because we don't have confirmation of bearishness yet. All right. So let's go down to the daily and let's take a look at the daily. Now on the daily, we do have a swing high put in, okay, and we do have a nice bearish engulfing candle at that high as well. Okay, so at the very least, with the daily range from this high to that last higher low, we should expect price to come down, into that discount range below the 50% here, right? And then we could be looking for price to trade into, maybe the OB here at the bottom, okay, at the extreme. But we could also be looking for price to come down into, the imbalance here as well, right? Just above the OB. So anywhere in this discount area, POIs here are going to be very, logical, right? Draw on liquidity. So we'll look for price to come down, further into the discount here to this level, right? After price has given us this nice engulfing candle and this nice push down, you can see price has put in this kind of lower high over here with this wick, right? If we go down to the 4-hour, I'm sure we'll see that a little bit clearer, okay, which is right there. So now on the 4-hour, as you can see, we've got this big shift, right? We've put in this high here, right? And I don't know if this is a lower high yet, but it certainly could be. Okay, but if we do continue up and through from this level here, then it'll remain bullish, obviously. But this is potentially where we could see a rejection. So a 4-hour lower high here, right, which will take us down into those, discount POI levels that we're talking about. So the OB down here, the imbalance down here, right, and we can see the 4-hour markups. Okay, right. This is going to be the OB that gives us a reaction if price is going to remain bullish at this level. And the reason I'm saying that is because we can see that price has taken out structure and liquidity below the lows here with this wick. All right, so you can see the 4-hour wick here has come down below the structure, has already traded into an imbalance here at the equilibrium level, right? And then we can see a very strong reaction from that level that left an imbalance here. So if price continues from this point, this retracement that's happening here will look something like this, right? We'll see price making a higher low and then continue higher and through that high. Okay. Now, what happens when price gives us a failure swing is this high doesn't, or basically this low, I'm sorry, doesn't hold, and price goes through the level. Then we can see price go down to that, those discount levels that we're looking for, right? And then we expect price to trade up from there after trading into these levels. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit tricky watching this, right, level here hold. This is where I'd expect a reaction first. Okay, so price coming down into this level, looking for a reaction here because we had the sweep of liquidity here with this reaction. There should be something that gives us a reaction here. If it doesn't and trades through that level, then this is where I'll be looking for the next reaction level to go higher. Okay, so a couple scenarios here. So if we don't get a setup from this OB here, right, and it trades through that, then you'll look for the next setup down here, right, into this imbalance area or the discount OB levels down here, right? On the 4-hour, you can see that we're probably looking to target this area, right, and the OB here because of the last 4-hour sweep of liquidity from these lows here. Okay, so this was a liquidity sweep on the 4-hour, which then led to this push, right, which broke in the highs there and also broke the 4-hour structure, leaving the imbalance in the OB here. So I would be looking for price to come down into this level to trade. Okay, just like that. And that's only if this OB here fails to hold first. Okay, so at the start of the week, you watch this level here. If we fail to hold that level to give us the bullish move up, then this is going to be where I'm expecting price to go next. Okay, and that is the rundown. So I'm going to end the review there. Okay, obviously, if you guys want, the daily intraday outlooks on 1 hour and below, I do that every day for the membership group. So again, if you guys sign up to the free membership, you have a first look at that, that VIP membership. In the free membership content, right? So you can take a look at how that is. And if you decide to join us on the VIP, you can get the intraday outlooks for us because I do that for the group every day throughout the week, Tuesday through Friday. All right. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys found value in that. As I said, I will be posting more content on the video as we go forward. Hopefully you guys are subscribed to get those updates. But if not, go ahead and do that now. And make sure you get notified when I upload new videos. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop some comments below the video if necessary. You can also reach me via Telegram, and I will leave a link to that below if you want to send me a message there as well. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of the week. Good luck with your trading, and we'll see you guys on the next video.